speaks of salvation. He was buried on the 15th, speaks of rest, which, of course, which most of us will experience when we die. When we die, we come to our rest. Right?
Yeah.
At least our physical bodies come to rest. Now here's one, you got to think about this one here. The final feast is the last days, is the feast of Sukkot, which begins on the 15th of Tishri. Now, the final feast is when we get the final rest, right?
Yeah.
Because Jesus comes to dwell with us. Sister Dorsette, please everybody turn to Esther chapter 9, verse 20 to 22. Esther 9, 20 to 22.
Esther 9:20. Then Mordecai recorded these events, and he sent letters to all the Jews who were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, both near and far, obliging them to celebrate the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same month annually, because on those days the Jews rid themselves of their enemies, and it was a month which was turned for them from sorrow into gladness and from mourning into a holiday, that they should make them days of feasting and rejoicing, and sending portions of food to one another and gifts to the poor.
Now, you remember, you know the story of Esther, right?
Yeah.
How many of you know that Haman, if you trace his genealogy, he goes back to Ishmael. He goes back to Ishmael. So it teaches us that Ishmael passed on that generational hatred of the Jews all the way down to his children, and they carry them to this very day.
Yeah.
And so Haman said, you know what? I got this position in the kingdom, I can kill all the Jews.
My Lord.
And he caused the king to sign a decree that on a certain day, every Jew was to be slaughtered. Now, we read that, and we missed the deeper meaning. That is a forerunner of when the whole world comes against Israel to annihilate her off the face of the earth. That's a forerunner. And Esther, Mordecai said to Esther, they didn't know Esther was a Jew. And we know the story about how Esther said, well, Mordecai said, you think you saved me? You know what he said? He said, who knows that you may have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. In other words, Mordecai said to Esther, listen, you're my niece. God planned you in the kingdom of Ahasuerus for this moment. So rise up. Do what you got to do. Save the Jews. Because Haman is a type of the Antichrist. We know the story. The king said, I can't change the law. But what I could do is I could set another law and let you say, on that day, defend yourself. That's what he did. And the Jews was victorious on that day. And they rested from their enemies. And that day is known to this day as think Purim, when they remember the events of Haman. And Haman was slaughtered, executed by the hangman's knot that he made in Mordecai. Amen? And guess what? Did you know that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm almost certain that Esther is the only book that the name God ain't mentioned once.
Yeah.
But even though God ain't mentioned once in Esther, God is all through Esther.
All through Esther, yeah.
The word kinsman is found 15 times in the book of Ruth. The 15th time Naomi name is mentioned is in the book of Ruth. We read in Ruth 3:1. Sister Dorsette, turn there and hold it, please. Now, kinsman, Ruth speaks about kinsman redeemer, kinsman redemption. And Ruth was a Gentile girl married to a Jew. That's a picture of Jesus, a Jew, married to the church, which is a Gentile bride. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Ruth, Boaz became the kinsman redeemer. Boaz is a type of Christ. Now, how did Jesus become our kinsman redeemer if you and I aren't Jews? See, it had nothing to do with Jew. It has to do with him becoming man as we are man, human being. He became man so he can become man's kinsman redeemer, to redeem us from the curse of the law which he did at Calvary. Praise his name. Sister Dorsette, the last scripture, please read Ruth 3:1.
One day Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, "My daughter, shall I not try to find a home for you where you will be well provided for?"
Now, you say, where's the word rest? The word home also speaks of rest. Where do you go to rest?
Home.
Home.
Work.
You don't rest at work now, hey. Let's kill you at work. You rest at home. She said, I'm going to find a home for you. Jesus went to prepare a place for us so we can have rest.
Yes.
He said, come unto me, all you that heavy and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. So if you want rest, come to Jesus.
The Amplified said rest or home.
Wow. We on point tonight. Amen. God bless you. Boy, Brother Shane, I tell you the truth, you are a blessed. Thank God for you.
Hallelujah.
Thank God for we got some fine men in the church.